going. There you go. You're live now. Can you introduce us?
Welcome to Unicorn Chef. I'm your host, Margot Cordelia Stokes-Waters, and today we have cooking Amy Karen's Stokes-Waters, and we also have John.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
Maggie.
Hello. Thank you, Margot.
That was good. Hi.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good. Well, I think we're on episode 17 now.
Oh, wow.
Unicorn Chef, which, maybe 16. I can't remember. 17? So, yeah, thanks for joining us on this lovely sunny Wednesday evening.
Delighted to join you. I've got a glass of Aldi's finest.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to cooking.
Well, as we're having a curry, I've actually gone for beer this week.
Okay. Good call.
Yeah, I do have red wine, obviously, French red wine in the background. But yeah, we're on the beer this week. So, John, after that stunning introduction from Margot, which was extremely, extremely detailed, and
Margot is the best.
Told us loads about you. Would you like to expand a little bit more on who you are, and also tell us what we're cooking this evening?
Okay, so I'm John Lyons. I am a fractional CMO and coach. So I've been in marketing for 25 plus years. I founded a couple of agencies. I've been in kind of business leadership and senior leadership in a few agencies. I've been client side as a CMO, and I worked on the loyalty program at the Lego Group.
Yes.
I work as a fractional now under the name of Human Hatstand because I accidentally made a hat that was a brand asset. And I have a podcast called Bin Juice. And so today we're going to be cooking the dish that if I had to choose one dish that I could eat every day, if there was only one dish I had to eat every day for the rest of my life, it would be this. It's Chana Masala.
Excellent. I am so excited to cook this because I absolutely love chickpeas and I absolutely love curry. So it's like my ideal meal.
Amazing. Perfect. So I just want to say at this point, a big shout out if she's watching to Kirti. So my buddy Kirti is a big fan of chickpeas too. And hopefully I'm not going to let her and her culture down with my recipe. Yes.
Well, fingers crossed, we'll cook something delicious. But I've seen all the ingredients. I've got them all lined up here. So I think it's looking like a recipe for success.
Yes, I think so.
Yes. So what's we'll do a bit of cooking, get some stuff in a pan, and then we will dive into some interesting chat around marketing.
Good, hope so. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're not going to chop, we're going to blend.
Okay.
Now, just to kind of say that because I'm a nerd and I love chickpeas like you, but my kids are away this week with their mum, so I'm basically cooking a batch of this. So I'm probably cooking just over twice the amount that you're cooking. Okay. But we'll talk about kind of the amounts that you're using. So what I'm going to start with is kind of the paste blend.
Yeah.
So for that, we're going to need, from your hand, kind of 2 to 4 green chilies, depending on how hot you want it. So I'm probably going to go for 6 or 7.
Yeah, I'm going to go for like 1.5 because I'm a big fat wimp when it comes to spice.
Okay, big wimp. So I'm going for 7. Seeds in for me. Again, you can take the seeds out if you want. So all I'm doing is cutting off the stalks.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm going to put this in my NutriBullet.
That's very posh.
I know. Well, in part, to be honest, it's because I've got a tiny little kitchen. So I don't have room for many things, and I love a kitchen gadget.
Yes.
So I don't have an air fryer. I don't.
You actually use an oven?
I use an oven. I use an oven. I use
That's gross.
I use the hob.
Wow.
So add to that half a dozen garlic cloves.
I'm just looking for where the actual blender is.
Okay. Well, that would be a good thing to find.
Yeah, I've got it. It's good. We're here. I've got it. I'm back. Right. So I've got 2 chilies. Yep.
2 chilies. You want 6 garlic cloves?
Oh yeah, I've got lazy garlic, but we can do that.
Oh yeah, of course you have. So probably go with 6 teaspoons maybe?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a whole head of garlic.
Nice. Yeah, I do love garlic. I think I say this every single time I do this podcast, but if the recipe needs garlic, you have to just double whatever it says, because garlic is the best.
You would get on so well with my son. He absolutely adores garlic. We used to go occasionally to a little steakhouse around here, and he wouldn't eat the steak, but whatever he'd have, I mean, he's got a decent palate, but whatever he'd have, he'd sit there and watch me give him this half head of roast garlic and just ask to have it. And it got to the point that whenever we went there, they would cook extra garlic just for him, and he would stink of garlic, but he absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I think they used to do a bulb of garlic on the Sunday dinner at Hawksmoor.
Ah, did they?
Whether they do it still, I don't know. But yes, I have eaten there several times for Sunday lunch, and it is fucking gorgeous.
I've never had Sunday lunch there.
Well, I can highly recommend it.
Sounds like I fucking need to.
Yes, you have been missing out.
Oh, story of my life.
So I've got the garlic and the chili in here, and we're putting this onion in as well.
No, let's save the onion till last, because what we're going to do is we're going to blitz the rest of it down to a bit of a paste, but we want the onion to have a little bit more texture.
Okay, cool.
So the next thing to go for is your ginger.
Yeah, well, I've already got mine blitzed. I have really been totally lazy today and just, as usual, ignored what your actual recipe said and just made it up.
I expected that. I mean, to be honest, I was surprised that you had chickpeas.
I like chickpeas. I did go to Tesco today, but again, I still ignored what the ingredients were. I just like to do a substitute of everything. I did pick up coriander though, which I know is a controversial herb because some people fucking hate it, but I am actually a huge fan of coriander.
I fucking hate it.
Really?
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm one of those people where it just tastes of soap.
Yeah, I hear this a lot, but I've genuinely never experienced it tasting of soap. It just tastes nice.
Funny thing is, I'm less responsive, less reactive to it, I guess, since COVID.
Oh,
so
weird.
I used to hate Thai basil as well. It kind of had a similar sort of soapy taste to me. But Thai basil, I'm absolutely fine with now. And coriander, I can detect it and I can live without it, but it's not quite as it used to be for me.
Yes. Well, no, I can literally eat like the whole bag of it on a salad.
That's because you're a monster. Right. So in my blender, I've got the garlic, I've got the ginger, and I've got the chilies. Okay. And I'm going to blend those through.
Yeah. Until
they go relatively smooth. So this is going to be one for sound.
Yeah, this is the loud bit. Do it. Yeah.
That'll do it to start. So then what we're going to do, because we don't want it to be quite as smooth, is going to peel off the onions.
Yeah.
So you want one onion, I'm going to put in two.
Uh-huh.
I might do them one at a time though.
Okay.
Because my NutriBullet isn't huge.
Yes.
And that's not a euphemism.
Well, I didn't want to say anything.
You've changed.
I know. I've grown up.
Yeah, right.
Well,
yeah. You and me both, Amy. Yeah.
Yes. Clearly.
Right. So, gonna take the off the onion. Going to chop it into smallish pieces. Obviously, we don't need to chop it, but it's going to be easier to blend and not get as lost in there.
Yes.
I think maybe I can get two in here. Let's do one at a time.
Okay. Yeah, you're posh with that NutriBullet. I've just got a fucking food processor thing. It's clunky. But anyway, it works.
The thing is, in all honesty, I'm such a complete food wanker that...
Why does that not surprise me?
I know, right? You know me well enough. But when it comes to a choice of things, I've got my coffee machine, I've got my coffee grinder, I've got my soda stream, I've got my little herb garden. I don't have much room for useful things. I've got wanky things that need to take up space.
Who the fuck, as an adult, uses a soda stream?
Hi, my name's John. I'm a wanker and I use a soda stream.
It's like Wankers Anonymous.
Yeah, except I'm basically being a wanker on a podcast, so not so anonymous.
Yes, fair.
Right.
Right. You ready to blitz?
If it's struggling, as mine is, add a bit of oil because we're going to be using the oil anyway.
Yeah, mine's actually worked all right, So.
All right, smart ass with your fancy bloody blender.
Well, when you have the right tools for the job, John, it makes it easier.
Look at that. There we go.
Yeah, I think that's. Is that looking right?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
There we go. Solid. Easy peasy.
Right, I'm just going to add in my second onion.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I also got pilau rice to go with it because I prefer pilau rice rather than basmati.
Okay, fair enough.
Thought I'd again ignore your recommendations and just do my own thing.
No, peanut rice is always good.
Yes.
So I've got buckwheat because as a diabetic, I have to have a low carb diet. So white rice isn't great for me, but buckwheat is a reasonable alternative.
Yes, I don't think I've ever had buckwheat.
Shit.
Is it?
No, it's all right actually. I quite like it, but it does take getting used to. But it's one of those things that you actually really need to add flavor, a bit like couscous in a way.
Yeah.
If you do it on its own, it's just absolute pants. But do it with something like some stock, or in this case, a banging chana, then you've got something nice. Right, let's give this bastard a go.
Is it gonna work?
Oh yeah, baby, that's it.
That was quiet.
That one didn't take too long to blitz.
No, there we go. Then. That's good. Okay, and then I'm assuming we're using a saucepan to.
Saucepan. I'm going to use a wok again because of that second serving.
Using is that? Sorry, you say using a wok because of what?
Because I'm doing a double batch.
Oh, okay.
And I want it to hopefully cook about the same time as yours will, rather than take twice the amount of time.
Yes, well, hopefully.
So, having handled onions, chili, garlic, and ginger, wash your hands.
Yes, I will do afterwards, but otherwise I'll end up with water all over my MacBook, which is brand new, and I would rather not.
Yeah, don't do that. I've got mine up on the windowsill, so I'm not going to be getting too close to mine today.
Yeah, I don't fancy having to rebuy that again.
Right, so chickpeas. Where are your chickpeas?
Where are my chickpeas? They're here in a tin. Where are your chickpeas?
Okay, so I again
grown your own or something because
no. But I have soaked my own because I'm a wanker. So the thing is, yes, I am a food wanker, as we said, but also actually you get a bit more texture when you soak the dried ones. So this time, because I knew this was coming, I remembered to soak them overnight. Normally I don't, and I do them out of a can.
Yeah, I mean, I've just gone for canned chickpeas, so
that's absolutely fine.
Good, because that's what I'm stuck with.
So drain them, stick them in a pan, cover them over with a bit of water.
Okay.
I'd say kind of what I tend to do with the canned ones is I'll empty the can, rinse out the can. So I'll empty the chickpeas into the pan, rinse out the can, and then do 1.5 cans full of water on top of the chickpeas.
Oh, okay. Well, I wish you told me that before I'd already put the water on top of the chickpeas, because now...
Okay, we've got the water on top of the chickpeas. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the chickpeas up to boil.
Okay.
And then we're going to switch it off and just leave it to sit there. So what will happen is that'll infuse the water with the chickpea flavour, which will come in handy later. And it will kind of cook through the chickpeas a little bit.
Awesome. So while we're cooking, we should probably also talk about, something interesting. I was thinking like marketing, because that's what we both are interested in.
All right, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, I know. I know there was, as usual, zero fucking prep for this podcast. I've prepared precisely 0 questions. But I know that we have. In fact, I think we've done a podcast before where we talked about marketing in the cyberspace. So I assume that we both know enough about it for us to probably have a fairly insightful discussion.
We've done a podcast together before. We've chatted over drinks and over Zoom many times before. And I've even watched you perform at your first For Fuck's Sake conference. So, yes.
Yeah, we are bringing that back again in November. So that's cool.
Amazing. Well, if you want an official bin sponsor, I'm your man. So having been unofficial bin sponsor at Digital Marketing World Forum, because I just rocked up with one when I was talking and sat beside me on the stage, MadFest and the Alliance of Independent Agency Awards, where I just took 2 down. I am going to be the official bin sponsor of the Manchester Tech Festival in September. So nice. I love getting my bins out.
Yeah, I have watched your podcast. Do you want to explain kind of what your Bin Juice podcast is kind of about?
Yeah. So basically, there's really 2 things that marketing has to do. It has to make your brand, or you, if you are the business you're selling, and I'm a one-person business, distinctive and memorable.
Yes.
If you don't do that, then you're not going to be remembered at all. So I know a bit about marketing. I've been doing it for a while, and I know what I'm doing. And I kind of figured, okay, well, I need to do something to promote myself a little bit. And I'm a lot more comfortable just sitting down and talking than I am writing. Partly also because when I write, I get really nerdy and I sit there and I obsess over it. So I kind of came to the conclusion of, okay, well, I need to do a video series where I basically share tips, practical and actionable tips on marketing that helps businesses grow. I had a look around at what was happening in terms of what other people were doing. And basically, there's a lot of people with short or not much hair, glasses, grey beards, white faces, doing exactly the same style of podcasts. Now that, when it comes to distinctiveness, is breaking one of the rules of marketing, right? So I just kind of sat there and thought, well, what can I do to be distinctive? And to be distinctive, it doesn't have to be meaningful. It just has to be memorable, right? Yes. And able to recall it. So I had a mini shits and giggles kind of marketing Twitter hit, taking pictures of my bins from outside of the window here. So out over there is Epping Forest, which means over there's a bunch of meatheads trying to knock down a bloody hotel, but we won't talk about that. But over there's Epping Forest, which is beautiful. There was a point in lockdown where a bunch of marketers on Twitter were posting shots of the view from their home office. So I decided to take a picture of the bins opposite my flats. And that just became a bit of a thing. So when I was sitting there thinking about what can I do to be distinctive, but do you know what? There's no one sat outside bins talking marketing sense. I'll be the bin guy. And I kind of had a little bit of a vote on LinkedIn. Yeah, what can I call this thing? And Joel Steen, brilliant copywriter, said bin juice. I'm like, oh, it's perfect. It's so horrific. It's memorable. And people, I have had one marketer criticize me for it and actually accuse me of, what was it, kind of putting the industry in a bad light, which is bizarre. But actually, it's memorable, and it doesn't matter why it's memorable. It's memorable. So bin juice has become my thing, and now every month I sit down ostensibly in front of the bins. I sit on a camping chair in front of a green screen in the flat, but I've taken a picture of the bins, and I talk about marketing, and that's become my thing. So now Bin Juice is my podcast, my vodcast. Got my bin over here that's kind of been going all over the place. And whilst I have my own brand, Human Hatstand and the hat, which also became a distinctive asset, I think Bin Juice is just more memorable. So I had to lean into it.
Yes.
And you, I know about distinctiveness. As a business owner, you get distinctiveness much better than most people.
I do have lots of thoughts about distinctiveness, especially in cyber, where everything's fucking blue for some reason. Blue with like lines of code going across the screen and people in hoodies. And there's lots of sameness, I would say, with the marketing in cyber. In fact, you wrote a white paper about it, didn't you?
I did. And funnily enough, kind of we discovered I think of all of the top cybersecurity companies or cyber companies that we reviewed, all of them had a dark blue as their main background color. Yeah. And when I sent over the draft copy of the report, you kind of came back to me and said, John, why is the fucking cover blue? And you were all right. I'm like, yeah, okay. I've broken my own first rule of marketing. And I went in, I took your lead and I went in full yellow.
Yes, we like yellow. I think yellow's cheerful.
We love
also,
it.
Apparently, yellow is a colour that when you scroll, it's the most likely colour to stop you and make you look at it.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Right, these chickpeas are boiling. Am I just taking them off the heat once they're boiling?
Once they're boiling, take them off the heat, and we can start on the onions now as well in another pan.
Yeah, I think the distinctiveness. Yes, I think that is kind of what's needed. Like you said, you need to be memorable. So what are you going to be known for? I was actually talking to a friend at lunchtime about this, and he was saying that he needed a bit of help kind of promoting his business and that kind of thing on LinkedIn. And I said, well, you need to be, what are you going to be known for? I said, because I used to be the lady that sold pen testing because I used to write buy pen testing at the bottom of every fucking post I ever wrote, which is funny because I now still get asked about pen testing, even though I've not sold it for like 2 years. But yeah, and then now I've become the yellow cyber escape room lady. But I think you need to have something. Whether, like you said, it doesn't need to necessarily make sense. Like you just wear a fucking hat all the time or sit in front of bins.
Yeah.
But it needs to be something that people can kind of associate with you. And I think that's where a lot of organizations go wrong. A, they don't understand that concept. And B, a lot of the time, I think they're a bit too chicken to kind of
100% that. 100% that. So my mate Storm, who also was on the podcast with us that we did on cyber. So they've done a report on professional business services they're working on at the moment, and they've looked at, I think, something like 140 businesses, and 80% of them use the same 3 words or something crazy like that. And it's this thing where I think businesses that don't understand how marketing works, which doesn't mean they're not successful businesses, because they'll be working off referrals, they've built a great business, but when they don't understand quite how marketing works, they focus more on trying to make sure that they look legitimate within their category, which all it means is that they're just another one of a sea of same. Whereas if you're standing out from your category, then you can be remembered. So, kind of, I who's that cyber company? Oh, the one with the blue. Oh, fuck, I'm lost with that. The one with the yellow, bang. It's just easy to remember. So whether or not it's the cyber company that's the one with the yellow, or the sad bloke sat in front of the bins, or the guy with the dreadlocks, all of these things are just memorable and simple and don't have to mean anything. But that's how we think about life. Think about people that you meet in the street, or other parents at the school. If you're going to describe it to someone else, you'll describe something about them that's different to other people. Now, I live in Essex. I live in Loughton, which is one of the Towie towns. So if I was to try to describe a local woman as the blonde one, it's not going anywhere, right? Because everyone here is blonde and orange. But if I was to describe someone by the way they dress or what they do, or something fucking different, that's what matters. Yeah,
I think it's not just kind of like visual either, though. I think visual identity and visual distinctiveness is important, but it's a lot of it's in the copy that they use as well. So I think when we looked at, I think when you were writing that white paper, which I'm sure we can share a copy of at the end of this podcast.
Yeah, sure.
When you were writing that white paper, I think you saw that people were always saying that they were innovative, they were unique, but it was like everyone's saying they're innovative and everyone's saying they're unique, and it was like 3 or 4 words that just cropped up over and over again.
Yeah.
Customer focus, that seems to be a USP that a lot of companies put out there, and I'm always like, I get that you're customer focused, because if you're not customer focused, you haven't got a fucking business.
Yeah.
Right. That's not a USP. That's just like the bare minimum I'm expecting of you, that you are focused on the customer.
Yeah. I mean, it's hygiene factor. People are pinning their flags on hygiene factors. So the stuff that, it's just very fresh in mind, because the stuff that Storm's working on at the moment, I think the most common combination of words across lots of different B2B and professional services sectors is business service solutions. Now, yeah, you work with businesses. Okay, fine. Services doesn't mean much. Solution means less than nothing. Solution is the most pointless word in branding and marketing. Nobody has fucking solutions unless you're selling kind of, eye drops. There's no such thing as solutions. It's bollocks. Yeah. And yet so many people are leaning into that rather than leaning into what makes them different. So, kind of, I'm a fractional CMO that will make you more money than I cost. I haven't used any of the kind of bullshit terms unless fractional, let's be honest. But yeah, it's kind of, you have to be something, not just everything. Right, I'm going to go and get my blitzed onion mix on now.
Okay, cool. I've got oil warmed up in a pan, so I'm guessing I'm just chucking this. We're just chucking all of this in.
I'm going to put some oil in, and then we're going to just chuck it all in. Now, what we want to do with this is we need to cook this through until it gets kind of caramelized, because otherwise the onion can make it a little bit bitter.
Fair. Okay. Have I got a wooden spoon to do? That's making a nice sizzle. Oh, it smells good already.
Let's just eat the onions then.
Right, leave that to cook. Yeah, I think what we're saying, distinctiveness. I think that's where, a lot of organisations kind of go wrong by wanting to be like everyone else. They don't want to put the kind of head above the parapet, because I think once you do that, you open yourself up to criticism, and I think that's where a lot of people kind of struggle.
Yeah, I guess it's like school kids, isn't it? You want to fit.
Yeah, you want to be liked, and when you kind of do something different, you do open yourself up to people being able to say, that's a bit fucking weird, or don't really like what you're doing. I mean, we have loads of it. Loads of people say to us, this is totally not for us. I don't like the fact that you swear. Don't like the fact that you're doing in-person things or digital stuff. And I'm like, well, it's cool. If you don't like it, that's fine. It's not for everyone. So I'm cool with that.
I had someone today kind of feedback that actually they desperately need marketing. Okay, it's a technical thing, technical service. It's kind of a web thing. Clearly, they've got a good service, but the positioning, the website, the terminology, it's terrible. And apparently, they looked at my website and decided that I didn't know marketing well enough. And I just kind of thought, do you know what? You've just qualified yourself out, and that's absolutely fine, because I don't. Part of being a fractional CMO is that I don't want to work for people that don't understand this shit or try to judge it by the wrong things.
Yeah, I think marketing is always interesting. I mean, when there's a recession going on or budget cuts, marketing does seem to be like one of the first departments that ends up getting cut.
Yep.
I always think that's a bad move, though. I think if you're heading into tough times, marketing, you should be fucking doubling your efforts, because everyone else is going to cut the marketing team, which means that you have got a fucking great opportunity to stand out.
Amen.
If you keep going with it.
Amen. Absolutely. You get above the curve.
Yeah, and there's a guy called, oh my God, these onions are making my eyes cry. There's a guy called Lewis Kemp. I don't know if you've seen him on LinkedIn before, but he runs a marketing agency as well. And he always says that a sales problem now was a marketing problem 6 months ago.
6 months ago, yeah. Yeah, totally.
But I think people don't quite understand like what marketing is, what it kind of entails, what the value of it is. I think a lot of people think that marketing is kind of, well, I guess sending mail shots out and colouring in. I mean, I always call it the colouring in department, and it is my department. Yeah. I mean, that's become the legend, hasn't it? The colouring in department, and yeah, too many people do see it that way. For me, marketing it's the only function that focuses really on growth. Sales picks up what's coming in, marketing feeds it, and those two things work together. With one of my clients at the moment, I'm working much more as a kind of CRO, so kind of chief revenue officer, and everything's about tying down the marketing and the sales. When I run my own businesses, everything was about the marketing leading the sales, and it's kind of all well proven now, but people just don't seem to believe it still. And even down to brand.
I don't think people understand what brand is. So you get a lot of people, they think brand is a logo that makes them look legitimate. So I'm going to put some salt in that mix now.
Salt.
They think branding is just a logo that makes them look legitimate, but it's not. It's again, it's a differentiator. It's something that makes you memorable. And brand isn't just visual. As you said, it's tonal, it's tone of voice, it's use of words, it's where you show up. It's anything that takes you back to the product or company that you might buy from is part of your brand.
Yeah, I think it's kind of everything as well. Like even on our, because we're quite straightforward, quite cheeky, I guess, a bit sassy, whatever. But we put that brand voice everywhere. Like even on our terms and conditions, the front page says something like "Shh, we won't tell if you won't" or whatever. I think that's for NDAs. But we've got like that brand voice permeates through everything that we do.
Good.
Because I think people kind of lose it in certain areas. Like they'll do it on the website, but then when they're posted on LinkedIn, they'll sound completely different. And I think to kind of maintain brand and to maintain that identity, you need to be consistent with it across whatever channel you kind of work with.
100%. And particularly if you're a person-led business. You know, kind of, I am a one-person business. You are not a one-person business, but you are still very much of Amy. And, you know, kind of, you've made a brilliant position, and don't tell anyone I said this about you, because I don't like people that I'm complimenting you about, but you've made a really good position about genuinely being yourself and dialing yourself up a little bit. So, you know, you go to an event, who's the gobby northern lass that's kind of, you know, all out there, you know, big high heels on, showing up, glamorous. It's Amy. You don't miss Amy anywhere you go. And that comes through the brand, everything. It all ties together perfectly.
What else is going in this pan? I've got the salt's been in. What else?
So we want to cook it down till it starts to caramelize a little bit so that we get some of the sourness out. Okay. So just leave it on for a few more minutes. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly pop my tinned tomatoes into the blender.
So I was clever and bought passata.
Well, yeah.
I don't like chunky tomato bits. So if a recipe ever asks for chopped tomatoes, I always just use passata.
So with this recipe, what you're supposed to do is mash the tomatoes down. So they're not fully chunky, but there's still a bit of texture. You can use passata, of course you can. But I'm just gonna lightly blitz, because I fucking love my NutriBullet. I'm gonna lightly blitz my tomatoes.
Fair. Yeah, I'm not into like even in like spag bowl and stuff. I always put passata in instead of tinned tomatoes. I do
a bit of both, to be fair. But it's one of those things, particularly if you're doing a spag bowl, less so here, other than if you're going to blitz or mash it.
Yeah,
you'll still cook most of it down, so you don't get the chunkiness through. But yeah, I do like a bit of passata with my ragu. Yes. You could call it spag bowl. I'm a food wanker. I'm going to call it ragu.
You are being a complete food wanker, but we'll let you off. Because, I mean, this does smell incredible. So hopefully you being a food wanker is going to mean that I'm having something delicious for dinner tonight.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. So we kind of talked about what people think marketing is, but then, so maybe we should talk about what it actually is and what it actually entails. Because, like we said, it's not just, here's a logo, I'm going to colour a document in for you.
No.
Off we go. So as a fractional CMO, what roles do you end up kind of covering?
So marketing isn't a creative role. Okay, advertising is, but marketing isn't a creative role. Marketing is a business function. So my starting point whenever I start with a client is I look at their share of market and I look at their share of voice, i.e. how much they're visible to the marketplace. And I look at what the difference is and I look at where they sit amongst their competitors. So basically I spend the first period of time in Excel. Where's the money? Who else is earning the money? How can we find out? Let's look at who it is we're selling to, what we need to be to them, what they want from us. So lots of research.
The who are we selling to question always makes me laugh. When I talk to people that are starting a business and you say, who's your ideal customer? And they're like, anyone who needs cybersecurity. And I'm like, no, that can't possibly be it, because you can't appeal to everyone.
No. So I'm working with a client at the moment, and they do sort of employee engagement, internal comms. And we've got 2 very tight ICPs, ideal customer profiles. And what I've kind of said to the leadership team there is this isn't restricting who we will work with. This is focusing who we're going to go out and be for. Because if you don't do that, if you're not for someone, you're not for anyone. And unless you're Coca-Cola or some kind of water product where literally anyone might buy you in the world ever, you've got to focus down on where there's the best chance of profitability. So if you look at...
I was going to say, even with stuff like Coca-Cola, potentially not Coca-Cola, but like McDonald's, you say McDonald's is for everyone, but even they show up differently for the different audiences that they've got. Exactly. So they've got their ideal customer profiles. Yeah, there's the families, they're the kids out with their mates. There's all these different little groupings, and they'll show up differently for all of them. I mean, they're lucky in that Coca-Cola and McDonald's and all of these big kind of legendary brands, John Lewis, whatever, they built up a head of steam over decades and decades and decades. And they've kept their brand equity going. So I always say the interesting thing with like McDonald's is everyone on the planet knows who McDonald's are. Yeah. Everyone on the planet knows who they are.
Yep. And you know what else?
They still fucking advertise. They still market to people. They still show up. Like I reckon I've walked past 20 McDonald's adverts there.
Yeah. But that's the thing. They understand the power of long-term marketing. And there was Scott Galloway, kind of a very well-known and bizarrely respected kind of American marketing professor who knows fuck all about marketing, by the way, but he knows about investment. And he said that there's no business that's advertising that's making any money. And someone went, what about McDonald's? And he sort of laughed it off. The thing is, if I say to you now, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, you know exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
If I raise my eyebrows, you know exactly what I mean. They've earned their place into culture, and they know that they need to keep reinforcing it. The same as McDonald's. Holidays are coming.
Yeah.
Or always Coca-Cola, or even just or the ribbon. All of these things they built up over decades.
With Coca-Cola, it was a bottle shape as well that they did. You know what a Coke bottle looks like.
Yeah, that's one of the best design briefs of all time. So the brief was design a bottle that someone would recognize in the dark, or if it was broken on the floor.
Yeah.
How fucking brilliant is that? Who else has got the balls to do that?
Yeah.
They've done it. And is Coke better than Pepsi? Who cares, really? The fact is, Pepsi is, because they've done it the right way, the number one. They always have been. They always will be, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, they can massively drop the ball. They can do a Gerald Ratner, but they've kind of kept it going really nicely.
Right, there's got to be some spices going in this mix now.
Yeah, we're going to get some spices in now. So what do we got here? We're going to add in... I forgot the cumin. Have you got cumin seeds or ground cumin?
I've got both.
Okay, well then what we're going to do, because I should have put the cumin seeds in early, so in the oil, let's go in with ground cumin.
Okay.
So I'm going to need to go up to my little spice bucket.
Spice bucket?
Got my spice bucket, trying to make sense of my spices. Where are you?
That's a very northern.
Yeah, I don't know why that became Norman there. I think. Don't tell Dana I said this. I think you've rubbed off on me.
Yeah, it just happened. Right, ground cumin. What else? Coriander.
So yeah, definitely. So the two main ones are. I do have the ground cumin here. So ground cumin, and you want to put in for what you're doing, sort of like a tablespoon.
Or a tablespoon. I put less than that. Okay.
Tablespoon of cumin. About the same of coriander.
Okay, it's a good job I've blended all that coriander already.
Yes. I'm just doing it by eye because, again, I'm a tosser.
That's fair. I think it's sometimes nicer to do it like that, anyway.
Yeah, no, I do really enjoy it. I do really enjoy doing it that way. And, you can... The thing is, you can always taste your way through and improve it.
Yeah, and I think you always kind of end up with a slightly different meal every time you do it.
True. And then you want 1 to 2 teaspoons of chili powder.
Okay.
You probably want to go slightly lower on that.
Yeah, probably.
Then we've got a teaspoon of turmeric, ground turmeric.
I do love turmeric. It's meant to have quite a lot of health benefits, isn't it, turmeric? Also, it's yellow, so it fits me. It's on brand.
I love turmeric. It's a bastard on my white surfaces.
Yeah.
And then, so I've got some amchoor powder, which is kind of mango powder, which I know that you didn't manage to get from Tesco's, but you could have nicked from your mum's, but you didn't bother.
Yeah, I should have nicked it from mum's, but I forgot.
So about a teaspoon of that.
Yeah, and then garam masala.
So garam masala goes in later.
Okay, fair. Okay, now what?
So stir that through.
Mm.
Enjoy that. Oh man, that smells so good. Enjoy the smell.
Yeah.
Now I think I probably haven't cooked my onions quite long enough, so I might need to put some sugar, or in my case agave, because we don't do sugar in it. But now it's starting to look like look at that, proper sort of proper curry gravy there.
Yeah.
So let's cook that through for a few more minutes.
Okay.
At this point, I am going to put my buckwheat on.
Mm-hmm. I cheated and got microwavy pilau rice, so I'll do that right now.
Well, yeah, because you've got a microwave though, haven't you?
I do have a microwave. Do you know what? I've only had a microwave probably for about 9 months. Prior to that, I don't think I'd ever really used one.
Oh, okay.
I still don't actually quite know how it works, because I put stuff in there for like 3 minutes and it comes out fucking simultaneously lava and frozen.
Yeah.
Which seems to make no sense to me. I'm not quite sure what the point of it is.
So the most important thing of any microwave cooking kind of instructions is where leave to stand, because that's where the ice melts into the lava and somehow you stir it and it works.
That does make sense.
But I used to sort of one of the reasons I love Chana Masala is because we're not having a microwave here, because obviously I need a coffee machine and a soda stream. It's one of the few dishes, because the protein isn't meat, that I can freeze and then just heat up in a pan and eat another night. So it's one of the reasons I love kind of batch cooking. Whoa! All right, calm down. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Let's go. Sorry, I did interrupt you rudely when we were talking about what marketing is.
Okay.
So maybe we should pick that train of thought back up.
Yeah. So marketing is, as I said, it's a business function. It's about identifying where and to who and what you need to be to those people and how you present yourself to make more money. That's all it is. It's stuff like advertising, logos, branding, copywriting. They're the tools that bring it to life. But the actual basis of marketing is doing your research to understand what your target market needs. So first you start off with who's your target market, your ideal customer profile. Tie it in. Don't try it to be for everybody. You can always add other ICPs to it later. You can always expand out, and you can obviously, if you get inbound leads, take on whatever the fuck you want. But be clear about who you're making the effort for, right? So you got your ICP, and then what you've got to do from there is work out a very simple strategy. And strategy sounds big and clever. It's not. It's just a statement. It's just about tying it down. So I like a framework called Get Who To Buy, where Get describes the ICP, who describes the problem they're having or the need that they have.
Yeah.
Two is what you want them to do, i.e. buy you. And buy describes how you're going to take yourself to market so that they understand that you're the solution to their problems. And then you stick to that. You just stick to that. Everything else comes from that. All the branding, all the design, all the advertising, all of the TikTok dances, whatever it is you're going to do, whatever channel you're using, is about sticking to that strategy at that point.
I've got a 7-year-old who has turned up at the mention of the word TikTok dances and is now trying to floss in the middle of the kitchen. I think it's interesting that I think people I can't do it either. I think people overcomplicate what marketing is. Because I see adverts when people are looking for a marketing person, and I'm like, you're looking for a social media manager.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a marketing. That's not a marketing person. You just want someone who's going to post some fucking pictures on LinkedIn every now and again.
No.
And I think that is a lot of the time where it kind of gets boiled down to people don't kind of understand like the analytics that go into it, the strategic thinking behind marketing, about the decisions that you make that kind of say how you are going to present your business to the world, all that kind of stuff. I think that kind of gets forgotten about, and it is like well, I said it before, it's like, here's the colouring in department, and can you write me a LinkedIn post?
Yeah, no, totally. And you know that I think we have a bit of a problem as an industry in that there are no standards. So as you know, I used to be an architect in my early life, and you can't call yourself an architect until you've done 7 years in the game and completed 3 courses, including 2 years working. And so you have to qualify, you have to register, and you have to be chartered as an architect. Anyone can call themselves a marketer. Now, there is a Chartered Institute of Marketing, and I am a fellow of the CIM because I think it's important to have standards. But most people out there, so you get many people that say they're a marketer. They're not. They work in marketing, and that's not disrespecting them. They're brilliant at what they do, but they're not a marketer. They're not doing what I do. They're not mapping out how a business is going to make more money and developing a strategy and overseeing a plan. What they're doing is they're executing tactics. And I'll be honest, I used to work in digital marketing. I ran a digital marketing agency for years, and it used to really boil my piss when people would be saying, oh, but you're not a marketer, you're just a channel wonk, you're just a channel specialist, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But I get it now. It's like, I loved what I did. We did really creative work. It wasn't digital marketing in terms of PPC. We were developing games, and we were doing kind of entire kind of platforms that would promote movies and TV shows. It was all super sexy, cool stuff. But the super sexy, cool stuff is in the tactics. It's not in the strategy. It's not in the marketing. What I get to do is work with people that have super sexy, cool ideas. Yeah. And it's good that I understand what they're going to do. But marketing's not actually fundamentally about that. It's about how we grow the business. So I'm going to add maybe tomatoes now.
Okay, cool. I think it's so I think we have spoken about this before. So new business, I always think, is the function of the marketing department.
Yep.
Predominantly, because I mean it just makes sense in my head that if marketing are there to do customer acquisition or new customer acquisition, so why would they not be like, why would the business development people not be part of that marketing function rather than part of the sales function? But what I often find, especially with smaller businesses, is that they stick the business development people in with the sales guys, but then there's no kind of alignment between what marketing's doing and what the business development team are doing.
Yeah.
Also, bizarrely, biz dev, I mean, I think arguably that's the harder part of the sales process. Yeah. It's a bit I'm really fucking good at, but it is the harder bit of it. We seem to just give it to like graduates who've got no fucking clue about sales or marketing. And that it kind of just seems to get left with them. I'm interested in your thoughts on that whole.
Well, I mean, I think kind of, you get kind of SDRs and all these kind of things where it's kind of seen that your job is to pound the phone or pound email increasingly with a script.
Yeah.
Without understanding actually, in many cases, what it is you're trying to lead into a sale for, or the people that you're trying to sell to.
Yes.
So you've done a lot more upfront sales than I have. I've sold a shitload more than most people in my industry. And I don't claim to be as good as you. I know how good you are. But I can walk into a room with a potential client, assess what their problem is, and have a solution for them in minutes, just because I've been doing it for so long and I used to be a creative. So, and one of the things I do now is when I get started talking to potential new clients. So I've been working with a TV jewelry company for a little while. And, we were chatting about some of the other stuff that the group owns. And we started talking about the TV company, and, they're not leading in the way that they were before. And I because I know how to, I did a share of market and a share of brand search review. And what we saw immediately is that their share of brand search, which is share of voice these days, so basically it's the level of awareness. If you've got a higher share of brand search than your competitors, you're going to be doing more business because you're more front of mind, right?
Yeah.
And so I did a share of brand search for them. And what it showed was they'd gone from being ahead of their number one competitor to falling continuously away. Now, without being shitty to channel experts or tactical experts, if you're not a marketer that has marketing training, you wouldn't even know to look there. You'd probably go, oh, okay, well, they've got more followers on LinkedIn than you. And I've been that guy. You know, I said I ran a digital agency, but I was able to show that and go, well, look, you basically nobody knows who you are anymore. Let's do some proper research. And we did some proper research. We unplugged a whole loads of things that told us what potential buyers and current buyers actually want for the market and how my client actually matches up to that. And we saw some disconnects, basically, you know, but the big thing that they need to do is just to be more visible.
Yes.
Which is a nice, easy one. But, you know, kind of, you're not...
I say it's a nice, easy one. I think lots of people really struggle with it, you know, because I think people get scared of being visible. Like I said, if people don't want to put themselves out there because you open yourself up to ridicule.
True.
So I think that, and it does require. Well, when people say to me, "How have you managed to get so many followers?" and I'm like, by consistently turning up.
Yeah.
I mean, I predominantly add them all as well. I always think this with LinkedIn. I can add who I want, and then if they accept me, they're going to see my content. So why the fuck would I not be adding anyone who fits my ICP?
Yep.
So that is the number one thing. And when people say to me, I want to grow my following on LinkedIn, I'm like,
get out and do it.
You add them then. Like, they don't just magically turn up and discover who you are. But you have to be consistent with the content that you're sharing.
Yeah.
Which means that you're going to have to fucking put yourself out there and not just write a load of chat GPT bollocks.
Yeah, amen. So I'm just going to put a little bit of agave because I've had a taste. It's a little bit bitter.
Okay.
Have a little taste of yours, see what it's like.
I'm scared it's going to be really fucking spicy. Oh, it's good. I'm fucking hot though, Jesus.
Don't forget, we've still got the chickpeas and the chickpea juice to go in, and then we've got the rice to go with it. So that will all calm it down.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I think I've got some yogurt in the cupboard anyway.
So I mean, going back to what you were saying, so one of the things that I do for myself as well as for clients is very tight about my ICP. I use LinkedIn automation. So I define my ICP. So for example, and this is something me and you have talked about in the past, you know, there's, particularly in the tech sector, there are people that have founded businesses because they understand how to create brilliant products. They don't necessarily know how to take those products to market. Now, there's a thing in marketing, which to me is the most fundamental thing, and I know you get it, is product market fit. And that's where we overlay what your thing does and try to find a way of presenting it to the people that need to buy it, that actually do need this thing, but in a way that they realize it's going to solve their problems. And you don't do that by listing all the things that your product does. You do it by talking to them about their problems. So I've got this little Loom video that I created, which is just a 5-minute intro to product market fit and how it's going to help you sell more of your great product. And so I have a really low touch automation on LinkedIn where I basically contact people and go, hey, did you know 63% of people buy products that they're already aware of? It's called product market fit. I've got a little video. Can I share it with you? That's it. That's all I do. If they, and I only send that after they've connected with me. So I send a blank connect. So I don't do the hard sell, but I'm building, as you said, I'm building my network the whole time. And these are people that I want to see me out there.
Yeah, I think the product market fit is probably one of the things that people do not fucking think about when they are building a business. And it is insane to me that people don't check with the market that they're trying to sell into, whether there is actually a fucking need for the products that they've got. I mean, right? I think it's the, was it Dropbox or it was Dropbox or someone like that. I can't remember which fucking company it is now. But the guy that invented that, he didn't actually build the tech and then go to investors. He literally made a PowerPoint and went with some animation in it and went, so it'll just look a bit like this. This is kind of what it is. What do you think? And everyone went, oh, that's fucking awesome. And that guy's now a fucking millionaire because he invented like Dropbox. The fact that people seem to build the product first and then retroactively go back to the market and then go, hey, I've built this cool thing. What do you think? And I'm like, why would you spend all that fucking time and money building something? In some cases, some people I know have built for years. Yeah. gone to the market and then got confused that the market's not interested in it. And I'm like, but did you ask anyone when you were building it?
There you go. So marketing, as it should be done, proper marketing, you do diagnosis, you do strategy, then you do tactics. Yeah. If you haven't done your diagnosis, how do you know that anyone gives a shit? Yeah. Madness. So I'm going to start in my slotted spoon, putting chickpeas now into this lovely curry mix.
All right. Slotted spoon, yeah.
So how did you go about the concept of cyber escape room?
So we kind of built a escape room, had a kind of prototype of it, took it to a conference and showed it to some people. Said, what do you think of this? And it turns out one of them was some guy from the SAS, and he was like, "This is fucking cool. Can I buy one?" I was like, "Hey. Yeah, go on then." I said, "Yeah, you can have it for cheap if I get a testimonial out of you." And there we go, marketing.
Amazing.
But yeah, I think that's kind of what we do. We do a lot of beta testing with everything that we do. So I've got a lot of very nice enterprise clients now. So I usually just drop a mail shot out and go, anyone fancy beta testing this cool thing that I'm looking at building? So I've currently got a load of people beta testing our digital escape room platform.
Amazing.
Some massive fucking problems with it, which is fine because that's what beta testing's for. But I also haven't spent thousands and thousands of pounds and years of my time building it. I've now actually showed them the concepts and gone, this is kind of what it's going to look like. This is kind of how that functionality is going to work. Give me some feedback. Then I'll build it based off their feedback because the people that are looking at it are my ICP. They already work with me. So if I'm going to build a product, I'm going to build it. I'll build it with product market fit built in because I fucking know what the market's asking for.
And how do you know so much about marketing?
Do you know what? I have got genuinely no fucking idea. I think to me, it feels like just common sense.
Yeah.
Which I get, it doesn't come naturally to everyone. So, I appreciate that I'm in a good position that in that I kind of just do know this stuff.
And you really do. It annoys me, but you really do.
But I think a lot of it is just common sense. When I look at it, I think, why the fuck would you not do it that way? Why would I spend time and money building a product if I don't know anyone wants to buy it? But I think because I've got the experience of sales, I've also worked in small businesses where they've had products that they've kind of built and it's not worked out like that. So I guess there's probably lived experience as well, having seen bad ways of marketing being done and me thinking, that's not how I'm fucking that. If I get a business, that is not how I'm fucking working it.
Yeah, that figures.
Yeah, I've never had any training in marketing. I am not a fellow of the Chartered Institute.
Have you read much, or is it just that you've kind of surrounded yourself with? Because we've known each other for ages, and we've chatted about this stuff a lot. And I don't know if anything I've said has kind of triggered anything, or you already knew it. I don't know, but you've always been very open to marketing and marketers.
Yeah, so I find it really fucking interesting. Like I could talk about marketing all day. I love it. Obviously I do the marketing for our business, and one of my board members said to me, "You're gonna have to give that to someone else at some point because you need to concentrate on running the business." And I was like, "Oh no. That's my baby. The marketing will always be mine. I can't imagine giving that to someone else because it's the fun bit. It's the bit that I love doing.
Yeah.
I love coming up with creative new ways of managing to say fuck on the internet. That always makes me laugh. It really, really does give me a lot of pleasure doing that. I always find it great. But I like doing something different. I like getting people talking because I always say to people that are looking to get into sales, I'm like, the trick to doing new business and doing sales is to find literally anything to talk to that customer about that isn't selling them something.
Yeah.
So your marketing team should be instrumental in doing that. Like, have you got a webinar they can go to? Have you got a white paper they can look at? Have you got a new video for them to watch? Have you got an event that you're doing? Have you got a podcast that you want them to be on? Have you got, coffee morning you want to go to? Do they want to stand in a kitchen and cook dinner with you on a podcast on a Wednesday evening? Anything, right? Yeah. Anything that you can find to talk to that person that doesn't involve you saying, "Hey, buy my shit."
100%.
But that to me just comes naturally. That just makes sense. I one time invented an entire award ceremony so that I could talk to a few customers, and I ended up having to put on said award ceremony. But it was something to talk to people about that got our name out there, created a bit of content. I love doing shit like that.
Same. I love events. I love events, and kind of, it's not like I'm playing up to it. Again, we've been out in town together, so we know what we're like. But the fact that I'm known as the guy that will turn up to an event and still be the last person to leave. I'm not leaning into it. I probably did when I was much, much younger. But the fact that people know that and that I'm fun and they like hanging out with me, fuck it. I'll play it. Yeah. Although this year, at least after the Alliance of Independent Agency Awards, I managed to get home awake and alive. Whereas last year, I managed to kind of get home, trip out of the Uber, scraped both of my hands really badly, and turned up for the second day of the event with my hands just wrapped in sellotape because I was too hungover and stupid to work out what to do. Still got it.
I genuinely love a good event. I love networking though. I love talking to people. I love making new friends. I obviously am a massive fucking show off, and I'm happy causing a scene, creating a spectacle, whatever, at every possible opportunity. And I am building my 7-year-old to also follow in that.
Amen.
Well,
Amen.
I think it's it gives me lots of joy, and B, I think it's a useful skill to have.
But also, as the woman that does Feminism Friday, I think for an 8-year-old girl in this world, growing up with the balls to say fuck the patriarchy, and her mum is bringing that through, I think is a strong thing. Absolutely strong thing. I mean, my daughter's 5 coming on 6. Yeah. She's an absolute fucking monster. She absolutely destroys me left, right, and center. But do you know what? That's going to prepare her well. I named her after my grandmother, who was the most powerful, impressive human being I've ever fucking met. And Dina is absolutely living up to that in the same way that I imagine my grandmother was a fucking monster when she was a kid as well.
Yeah, I think there's lots of people are kind of like, oh, you want them to grow out, they talk too much, very brave, bossy, that kind of thing. And I think especially for girls, they get told off for it a lot. Like bossy is the word that gets used
horrible word.
Too often. I mean, I did actually use it the other day because she was being an asshole. But predominantly, I say, you're not being bossy, you're being assertive.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. And I think we need to stop using the word bossy. I mean, unless they genuinely are being a little jerk, which, sometimes happens. But we use the word bossy with girls and we don't use it with boys.
You're right.
So why? But I want her to grow up having, same size balls as me.
Yeah.
She's quite fucking beautiful.
They're massive balls. They're bigger balls than I do.
I'm never going to turn around and kind of, tell her to shrink herself or not to make a scene or not to kind of answer back. Because I think, fuck it, as an adult, that's a use. That being able to confront people and being able to have discussions and not being afraid of kind of difficult conversations and being able to be assertive and say what you want and all that shit is fucking useful. So why would I beat it out of her as a child when it's a life skill that will
100%
excel as an adult?
And I love you for doing it.
Right, I think, is this curry ready now?
It's coming close. So how's your rice getting on? I've just taken my buckwheat.
It's going in the microwave, isn't it?
Oh, of course, it's going in the microwave. So I've just kind of put my buckwheat aside with. You could do it with a tea towel, or you could do it with some kind of kitchen paper, just to kind of catch some of the steam. So I've just kind of fluffed it up with a fork and put it to one side. I think we probably are at the point now for garam masala and lemon.
Oh, garam masala! I forgot about that.
Yeah. And garam masala is just banging, isn't it?
Well, you were fancy and made your own, didn't you?
I did make my own. So I made this a week or two ago. I didn't make it fresh today, but it just I love fresh garam masala.
Mm.
So I used black and white peppercorns, green and black cardamom, cloves, nutmeg, cinnamon,
Nice.
fenugreek seeds, fennel seeds, cumin seeds, coriander seeds. I think that was it. So that's what I used to make the garam masala. It's just really fragrant. So I'm going to put in. So you probably want to put in about a teaspoon. I'm going to put in more. Actually,
I just threw a bit in.
Yeah, I'm just banging a load in.
That's so good. That tastes amazing. I'm so excited to eat this.
Okay, so let's get that in. So are you going lemon juice or lemon or not doing it at all?
I didn't bother with it because I forgot. I mean, I only half wrote the ingredients down and made it up as well.
Well, I'm just going to squeeze some fresh lemon juice in because, again, I'm a wanker.
Mm.
I mean, the only reason I got the lemon juice, the fresh lemon, is because I thought you might get a bottle of lemon juice and I could out-wanker you. That's what I'm here for today.
Fair. No, do you know what? When it's stuff like that, I never buy bottles of lemon juice. It just doesn't feel right.
Okay.
Yeah, I prefer a fresh lemon.
Always.
To be fair, I only have limes in over lemons because they go better in a gin and tonic.
Oh. Okay. That's banging. I'm going to add a bit more garam masala to mine.
Oh. Yeah, I've tasted this. It's actually less spicy than I thought it would be.
Told you.
So yeah,
Right?
I'm not really into. Oh my gosh, my phone stopped. Yeah, I'm not really into mega hot spice. I don't see the point of it. I want to be able to taste the food. I don't want my tongue to be like falling off. So
I've got quite a high threshold mainly because I had a Nigerian girlfriend once who, I mean, Nigerian food is quite spicy. So it might be stuff like, 2 Scotch bonnet peppers. She'd put in 4 to 6.
Oh, no.
So that's sort of.
We did cook Nigerian food on here. When was that?
Oh, you did, didn't you? Yeah, you did.
Was that 4 weeks ago? That was, you know what? It was fucking gorgeous, that food. I'm 100% be making that again. But yeah, I'm still with that. I didn't put a fucking spice in either because I am a wimp with it.
Right, so I think good to go.
Excellent. Well, I'm eating mine in a bowl because I want to mix it all up. But yes, I am gonna throw some rice in and then.
Have you got some fresh coriander to cut or shred on the top?
I do. What I was going to say, this freezes, doesn't it, as well, because it's chickpeas.
Yes,
so
exactly.
When I come back from
it freezes. You can stick it straight into a pan, give it a few minutes, and it's just ready to eat again.
Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Oh yeah, baby! This looks fucking awesome.
I'm going to be eating this for a week.
Yeah. Right, there we go. Dinner's done. Amazing. Right, I'm going to go pour a glass of wine now. Now I've spent the last hour nursing a beer that I wanted to drink with my curry. I am now out of beer and I'm going to have to go drink wine. So I'm going to have a glass of wine, eat my lovely dinner, and say thank you so much for joining us. Where can people find you if they want to kind of chat a bit more about marketing?
So I'm still on Twitter, and yes, I'm calling it Twitter as Johnny Ego. I'm on Blue Sky as Johnny Ego. I'm on Instagram as Johnny Ego. But the main place that you'll find me is on LinkedIn. So I'm John Paul Lyons. You can also find my website, johnlyons.co.uk or binjuice.co.uk, which is my podcast and vodcast.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and we shall catch up again sometime very soon, I'm sure. We do have another episode of Unicorn Chef going live this evening, I think at 11:30.
Yeah.
But yes, we'll be back again soon.
Amazing. Thanks, Amy. Take care, everyone.